So, yeah, so I've just come. I know you're probably looking at me, and I'm old enough to be your grandma, actually, aren't I? And you might be thinking, oh, what's this old lady got to talk to us about? And we do make judgments. I know that, you know, you probably look at me and realise that I have struggled and still struggle with my weight. And so I make judgments about people. I'll see somebody slim walking down the road and I'll think, oh, it's all right for them. They've never struggled with their weight. But actually, I don't know that, do I? I don't know whether they do struggle with their weight, but they don't eat chocolate cake like I like to, or they go to the gym every day, which I don't, you know, so sometimes...
I love chocolate cake.
Oh, do you love chocolate cake? What's my favourite? So next time I come in, will you bring one? Oh, good. So, yeah, so, you know, it's easy to make judgments, but actually they're not always right, because those slim ladies I'm looking at, you know, they might be doing something to change their lives. And you might be looking at me and thinking, well, yeah, that I'm pretty old compared to you. That's true. It's a very long time since I was at school. It's changed a lot. But we don't actually know what people have been through or where they've been. And I can come over as quite confident now. I am confident now. I'm happy, definitely. I've got a lovely family. You've seen part of my lovely family. And everything's good. I've got a good job. Everything's good. I've got a lovely husband, nice home. But it hasn't always been like that. Excuse me. And it's been down to choices that I made when I was younger. Now, I didn't set out to make some of these choices. We don't know we're making them a lot of the time, like that 35,000. Most of those choices probably just happened. We don't think too much about it. I didn't think too much about putting warmer clothes on today because I knew it was November and it was colder. But that was a choice. I could have put a summer dress on. You know, it was a choice. And so when I was growing up, my dad was in the Navy, and he was a very strict dad. In fact, he was strict to the point of being cruel. And we used to get hit a lot for very small things. And our home was quite a frightening place to live. My mum just carried on with his discipline when he was away. I think it was just so that we didn't feel such a shock when he came home, to be honest. That's the way I always thought about it. But I remember feeling that actually my parents didn't love me. They didn't care. Nobody cared about me. And that was a feeling that I grew up with. My mum used to have, one of her favourite sayings was, she never wanted a girl. I've got two brothers, one older, one younger, and she only wanted boys. So that doesn't make you feel very welcome either, does it? Very part of a family. And yeah, being in the Navy, my dad got moved around from place to place. So every couple of years, I can't remember what the longest time I spent in a primary school was, but I don't think it was more than 2 years. And I think I went to about 7 or 8 different primary schools. So I would get uprooted from my home, from all my friends, from my school, and then put into a new situation and had to get on with it. And when I was 12, 13, you know, it was time for secondary school. And again, 2 weeks before the beginning of term, my dad was moved again. And I ended up in a school, in a place I've never seen or been to. I remember walking into that secondary school. I don't know what your first day at secondary school was like, but I walked in. I knew no one. I'd never been in the school before. I didn't know where to go. And you know, I just wanted to cry. In fact, I think I probably did. I don't remember, but I probably did cry as I was walking down into school, not knowing what to do. And that was a bit of the story of my life. And so really, by the time I got to that age, things were starting to, it was like this melting pot that all these things were put into. So, you know, all the bad things that were happening to me, really, all the things that were all coming together and getting mixed up. And added into that as well, I'd been sexually abused. And so it was all in there and all being stirred up. And at the age of about 13, 14, there was an explosion. Now it wasn't, I didn't lose my temper, I didn't go mad, I didn't go on a spree or anything, but I just couldn't cope anymore. You see, it was all inside me and I didn't know what to do it. Nobody ever said, how do you feel? How are you doing? Why do you always look so sad? Why do you behave like that? They called me silly. They called me a crybaby. My parents used to say, why aren't you clever like your brother? Why don't you work hard like your brother? Why are you always doing this or doing that? You're silly, you're stupid, you know. And when you just keep being told this day after day, and everything they do was reinforcing it, that's what you believe about yourself. I believed I was worthless. And there had to be some way out for all my feelings. There's always